Hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming by for part 3. We're watching a video with the title, The Story of the Greatest Ashes Series of All Time, England versus Australia, 2005. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on an intro because I don't think there's much I could add. I get the feeling from the comments I received from the first two parts that most of the people watching along with me are already very familiar with both cricket and this series. So I'm new to the game and I'm just learning. So we're gonna leave the intro pretty brief. I will say this: in part 1, the first Test match was covered. Australia came away with a win. In part 2, England came away with a very, very thrilling win at the very, very end. One of the closest sporting events I've seen in a long time. If you liked the video, please subscribe, and we'll get to the next part fairly soon. But for now, it's part 3, 2005 Ashes Series, England versus Australia. Let's take a look.
We seem to have a team that all of a sudden was confident, united and mentally strong. And you know, it dawned on us, the Ashes were on. Pressing loss and one earth-shattering victory. Cricket was off the back pages and onto the front. So, to Old Trafford with its packed stands and a whole nation on the edge of its seat.
We have a country awash with Ashes fever, courtesy of last Sunday.
Going to the game with a ball. Nothing
Trafford,
better than
4
that.
days later. A few people to duck and weave here. England have won the toss. They're going to bat first, and if it's cricket you're talking in England at the moment, the hairs are up on the back of the neck.
Michael Vaughan chose to bat. He might have won the toss, but he'd yet to make any meaningful runs in the series of his own.
Vaughan was under pressure at Old Trafford. He was in the middle of the kind of bad trot with the bat that could easily build into a resignation issue for most England skippers before him.
With the
That's interesting, Michael Vaughan. I mean, when you're not batting well or not playing well, and the captain puts you up first, that's a lot of pressure. But when you are the captain and you're putting yourself up first, that seems like it'd be even more pressure. So, a confident move.
At the end of Strauss, Vaughan came in to remind everyone just how good he was.
Oh, it's a full toss, and he's hit it nicely. McGrath might be struggling to get there, and he won't be running around there and putting his foot down just short of the rope.
McGrath, I think his name is, that's the guy who got hurt in part 2, but he looked like he was running pretty well there, playing in the field. I guess that's a good thing about this sort of schedule. I think there's quite a bit of space in between the matches, so you have time to get better. You know, I guess he didn't break the ankle.
Just in case he goes over on that ankle again. Right, that takes him to 99.
Vaughan played a fantastic innings. It was the innings that everyone had been waiting for from him. And maybe that's the thing about a great captain and a great player, is when you really need it, you come up with it. And that's what he did there. It was terrific innings.
There's a lot of talk that I should have gone and played for Yorkshire. I should have played a 4-day game. But I have a huge amount of self-belief that I will do what I feel is best for Michael Vaughan, not what someone writes in the press, what someone is saying on the radio. And that is down to your individual and also having a huge amount of self-confidence.
Vaughan put England in a commanding position with a sublime 166.
Wow.
But at the same time, Shane Warne was also enjoying a personal triumph.
What's that done now then? Yes, out! 600 Test match wickets for Shane Warne.
600.
What a moment!
To take 600 Test wickets is extraordinary, and it's simply the greatest bowling achievement of all time. It made Warne the undisputed master of his art, but it did come at a rocky time in his personal life.
That sounds like an unbelievable amount of wickets for Test, and I don't know how many Test matches are played. I know there's different forms of cricket now with the T20 and stuff, and I know this Test match happens, but how many how many like matches of this type are played over the course of a year between a country like Australia or India? Are they playing these type of matches all throughout the year? I'm not even sure what it
Before the
what
series
it
started,
really means to
unfortunately,
play a test match.
my wife and I separated.
I know
And
it's
my
country
daughter
versus
Brooke, who's
country.
8 years old, is into all the wristbands. She gave me a white one that said strength, and she said, "You got to be strong, Daddy." And that was sort of my inspiration. Every time I looked at that, I thought of them. Gave me a bit of inspiration. So when I got the 600th week and I got the ball, I looked at the wristband and I just kissed the wristband and said, "That's for you guys." So yeah, that was a pretty special moment for me.
Warne's personal success did nothing to distract England from their plan of attack.
A lot of planning had
It's a
been
long
gone
run.
in the years before we started these Ashes, and you know, we're trying to look to a lot of the formulas of how Australia had been beaten over the years. They'd not lost that many games, but one of the aspects of them being beaten was they were chasing the game, and if you could bat first and get 400, you were always asking them to bat 100 overs to try and get near your score, and that's 100 overs opportunities to try and get wickets.
Controlled version of Andrew Flintoff.
Unless someone tells me differently in the comments, I'm going to assume Andrew Flintoff and Freddie Flintoff are the same person. Maybe Freddie is a nickname, but I think they're the same person.
100 on the tally for England.
England were very much on top. A first innings total of 444, and Australia had a lot of catching up to do. The Australians started well, so England called on Simon Jones to cast the spell of reverse swing.
Simon Jones comes on, and first ball again.
The Australians didn't know how to play it, and even the analyst has trouble explaining it.
Reverse swing, it's been around for donkey's years, and essentially it's curve with an old ball as opposed to shiny new ball. And what happens is the ball, when it's shiny and new, will swing in a certain way. If the shine is on this side, the ball will swing that way with a new ball or a newish ball. With reverse swing, when the shine is on this side, it swings that way. But the thing about reverse swing is it happens very late, and it happens usually the faster the bowler, the more it swings.
He get 5 wickets.
Day 3. Jones had forced Australia to face the prospect of a humiliating follow-on. Enter their best bowler, Shane Warne. What might he do with the bat?
Shane Warne, what he might do with the bat. You know, it's funny, in the whole time I've been watching this and in the other videos I've done about cricket in the last few months, I've never once thought of Shane Warne batting. Because I know he's like the great bowler. You know, and it's probably because in baseball in the U.S., pitchers don't even hit. They don't even hit, and when they did, they were bad at it. They don't even hit anymore. So when I think of Warne as the bowler, I don't even ever, in my mind, I don't think of him hitting, but in this game, you do hit. Although I have to make one exception because there is a pitcher now who hits quite well in baseball, and that's Shohei Ohtani. But except for Shohei Ohtani, who's a real outlier, unicorn, whatever they're called, pitchers don't hit here. But in this sport, they do.
In the air, and it's going, and it is gone. That's another good strike, and the follow-on is avoided.
Warne would go on to get 90,
Well, 90.
but rain stopped play, cancelling almost all of the third day. Eventually, Australia were all out for 302. On day 4, England went into bat and took the fight to the Australians.
Oh, he's hit that well too. That time Strauss really did get onto that back. The ball was wide, mind you. It was there for the taking. He smashed that away. This is it. That's superbly played on the back foot.
100 from Strauss helped give England a lead of 422, and they had the whole of the final day to bowl Australia out a second time. Succeed, and England would go 2-1 up and stand a real chance of winning back those Ashes.
From 6 o'clock in the morning, the queues stretched around the ground, and then by 8:40 they'd closed the gates. Can you believe that? Thousands upon thousands. Capacity at Old Trafford, 21,000 in all.
The whole country is looking for something else in every aspect of entertainment. They're looking, they don't know why they're looking for it. They're looking for some kind of depth, some kind of gravity, some kind of meaning, some kind of multi-dimensional, multi-layered quality. And cricket quietly has been incubating for the last 10 years.
I was talking to people outside the Old Trafford ground before play started. I mean, there were thousands there, and a lot of them had got the message that there weren't any tickets.
At least 10 to 15,000 people aren't going to see this game. Some are driven by 8 hours to be there.
Another pivotal and maybe momentous day awaits us. 10 wickets for England to take, 399 runs for Australia if they're to win the game.
Here's your first ball.
It's amazing that a person can get out on the first ball, and probably the same person next time could go for lots of balls without getting out. I mean a long time. It's amazing that it could happen. There's such variety. First time.
At this stage, the Australians were no match for the England attack. A captain's innings was needed from Ricky Ponting.
That's a good example of Ponting playing his natural game. Happy to take on the short ball from Flintoff. What a sick signal by Billy Bowden. And that went flat and hard.
Well, that's a beautiful shot, and that is Ricky Ponting's 100. It's running away down to the extra cover boundary. An elegant cover drive, Ponting's 23rd century, and it's his 5th against England.
I think he was the captain too, so both captains batted really well in this match.
Well, Ponting's century there was easily his best day of the tour, because it was his simplest day of the tour. He had the very straightforward task of needing to bat all day, and that's exactly what he did. It's when life has been more complicated that Ponting's found captaincy rather more challenging.
It was the uncomplicated Flintoff who challenged the Australians.
This one has come back sharply, well outside of some there, but not there. That's some piece of bowling, I can tell you. It's 260.
4 wickets left. Warne was expected next, but instead came Gillespie, an entirely different sort of player.
That, for me, was a huge turning point. Gillespie came in because he's a blocker. That meant that the Aussies were not going for the runs, and that meant that for the first time in a match that counted, the Australians were playing for a draw.
He was probably our best, he's got one of the best defences of just blocking the ball, and he went in there just to try and defend as long as possible.
Wait a second. Going for a draw. You know, Does that mean a draw can be had even though the teams are not tied in runs? Because that made it sound like they put someone in who's good at blocking to kind of run out the clock, but there's no clock, but maybe run out the day. Because I've every other sport I've ever encountered, a tie or a draw means the score is tied. But maybe that's not the case here.
That is perilously close to LBW and is out, LBW. Another little reverse swinger from Matthew Hoggard.
He didn't block very well.
The lid is coming off the ground in Manchester. England are 3 away.
Gillespie lasted just 5 balls and England could now smell blood. They had 31 overs.
See, that's the thing. I mean, he's known as a blocker, but he's out in 5 balls. You just never know.
To take the last 3 wickets. On paper, no problem.
I'm assuming a blocker means defensive, sort of just staying there, maybe not scoring a lot of runs, but not getting out either. From the name, I'm assuming that's the case.
In practice, another story.
Big shout. No, says Billy Bowden again. No.
He has put it down. He has put it down, and it's Kevin Peterson. Now, there's all sorts of things that could go around. Old lines like, has he dropped the ashes?
Catchable, but not easy.
Oh, he's flayed that one through the offside field. In the air. Oh, he's dropped it. Oh, no, he's got him. What a good catch. That's a great catch. Wonderfully taken. Jones has come to his right. It was dropped. It popped in the air. Strauss actually dropped it. It then popped up. And, well, Gareth Jones took the catch.
That's well bowled. It drew Warne into the stroke and...
Oh, that's a nice play. That's nice.
Oh, he's beaten him. He's bowling a really good line, and he's bowling it pretty fast as well. Oh, and just short. Just short.
You know, maybe it's not running out the clock like in other sports. Maybe it's running out the balls, because it said, I think, 49 balls remaining or something like that.
Now the end of the over. Still 2 wickets needed.
Lee got it away, but it was short of
to the
the
first
fielder.
guy.
The roar from the crowd, which is not the only roar we've had. They've been very animated all day.
Balls, 27 balls. If they can run out 20, if they can get past or stay batting for 27 balls before England can get 2 wickets, that's a draw, even though the runs are not tied. I think that this is the case.
That's very, very adjacent. Oh no, says Billy Bowden.
25 balls.
There's a little appeal. He's going out! Out! Ricky Ponting is out! It's impossible to know what to say. For all England's joy, imagine what Ponting is going through now.
24 balls.
Still searching for the Yorker.
Wow, a lot of guys playing there. I think there's slips. 10 balls left, 1 wicket. So in that situation, what, like, in general, who would have the advantage in that case? 10 balls, you need 1 wicket. If he's just trying to get through the 10 balls without getting a wicket, is that a better than 50% chance that he will, or is it a better than 50% chance that he won't? I'm wondering. 10 balls and just don't get out is, I guess, the batter's focus.
That's worth a shout.
They got everybody playing in that same spot. That's amazing. Wicket, 7 balls. There's another ball.
Again, England will hope this goes to the boundary. Hang on, there's someone running onto the field.
6 balls. I don't know the score, but it looks like that's the key.
Well, you've got 6 balls. What do you bowl? Do you bowl one in the ribs first to keep him on the back foot, or do you try and bowl? I think you get one in the ribs.
Everybody on their feet. Roaring Harmison on.
Oh, they might not even be having fielders deeper because it's totally unimportant at this point whether he scores runs or not, because maybe Australia is so far behind in runs that doesn't matter. So that's why they brought everybody in, because they just need a wicket. That makes sense.
That is how fine this thing is. Minute. Nothing. 1 ball remains.
Oh, man.
Here we are. Brett Lee has done it. Redemption from Edgbaston.
Wow.
An amazing performance by Australia to bat through the day.
I think if they should have been on the other foot, we'd have done the same. I think they've batted all day. They've hung on in there in a nail biter again, and I think Brett Lee deserved to celebrate. To us, he played another great knock. He came so close at Edgbaston, and then at Old Trafford, he managed to bat the time and see him to a draw. You know, probably at that stage for them, that was probably like a win.
Australia were relieved to have got out of a game. Now, I don't think that's happened for 18 years against England. So I knew we were getting better and better. I was delighted to see Australian players on the balcony, on the pitch, hugging each other because they'd not won a game.
Australia haven't been questioned like this before. You know, they're being questioned now, and they're questioning themselves.
Felt weird celebrating a draw, but I think it was more the emotion of just hanging on and the way we hung on and the way Ricky fought.
England would have won that match had the weather not intervened. They would have had plenty of time to bowl McGrath out or Lee out. Instead of 24 balls, they'd have had a day and 24 balls, more or less. But England, for their part, felt strong.
With 10 days to go before the teams met again, Australia had time to regroup, and more importantly, Glenn McGrath had time to recover. But there was no doubt in England's mind. They had outplayed the Australians in Manchester, and the key thing was that they knew they could do so again.
Wow, that's a whole new thing. That's a whole new thing. I'm not sure if you could let me know if I got it correct about what a draw is. Because Australia, you know, I can see that. I can see it's kind of a win for England in that case, because Australia had dominated, and to see them settle for a draw and play for a draw must be kind of a psychological victory for England, because, you know, I think Australia had been dominating this series, and to see them just happy to tie or get a draw is like maybe a big deal. But like I said, I've never seen a sport where you can have a draw without the actual score tying. Please let me know if I'm sort of on the right track when it comes to this game, because this was kind of a confusing situation for me. I hope I've kind of figured it out, but I really don't know. Thanks for dropping by to check out this game with me. This match, it was one like I'd never seen before. But I think this leaves it 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw for both sides. And I'll be back with part 4 very soon. Thanks again for watching with me. I'll talk to you later.